Is it possible to be too ugly for Tinder? Yes. Yes, it is. But of course, there is more to the story. The truth is that many guys think that you have to be the most up there with the most attractive looking guys in the world, or you're never going to get any results on Tinder. You might as well just give up now. But you actually only need to have some of the best looking profiles. And there is a big difference because it is really easy. Well, not easy. It is certainly possible and not super hard for an average looking guy to create a profile that is up there with, say, the top 10, 20% best profiles. You don't have to be the best looking guy. And that's where a lot of guys get things wrong. So today what I'm going to show you is how, if you're average to slightly below average looking guy, how you can still perform really well on Tinder, what you've got to do. And I've seen this hundreds of times every year with the men that I work with on their online dating profiles. Keep watching to find out more. When I was 21 years old, I was starting to get really heavily involved in the pickup artist industry, which I'm kind of embarrassed and ashamed to say. But remember, this was 16 years ago. And back then, I was working really hard, going out, talking to lots of girls, working on my social skills. I was very, I think, narcissistically minded. It was all about trying to find the hottest girl to have on my arm and lots of them, be able to show off to my friends and all this kind of stuff. That's where I was at that point. And I met a girl who I date for a while who was a cheerleader for a big Australian football team. And she was a pretty cute girl. She was pretty hot. And you should have seen her friends as well. I'll show you some pictures of I won't say which one's my partner for privacy, but her and the other cheerleaders that we're talking about. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be hanging out with some of the hottest women in Australia. Sweet Jesus, you know. But what was interesting, or what I found at this point, was that I'd meet these women in day-to-day life because I'd hang out with them both in our day-to-day lives and at, big events like dancing competitions and stuff that I'd go to. In the dancing competitions and when they go to photo shoots and stuff to do like modeling mags and things, there were ridiculously hot women. Like, oh, damn, like my friends would be so jealous to see me right now. When I go out with them just regularly, socially, like, hey, we're just having dinner on a Wednesday night with some friends after practice. And you're talking about a group of girls who are kind of average, a bit above average, probably some of them are above average, but nothing incredible. And that's when I first learned that, wow, women really can take themselves from average to hot, right? As long as their bodies are in decent shape, they can take themselves from average to super hot without much trouble. And women are being taught to do this from a very early age. In our society, young girls, young teenage girls and up are learning to make themselves as hot as possible. Now, not all women engage with this trend, but many do. And so women have the upper hand in that they can, if they want, create a really incredible profile that makes them look, I don't know, in a way that guys are going to make guys go crazy. So how does all this relate to Tinder? Well, Tinder, not just Tinder, but Tinder and all the other swiping, especially online dating apps, has turned the table somewhat because all of a sudden men are finding that they have to start to put work in to how they look. And I don't just mean being in decent shape or, not being a slob, but they actually have to compete the way women have had to compete for a long, long time now in our current society. And so what men are finding is that the tables have turned and they have to now look good. And this is where I want to start talking about what you can do, because actually men can do a huge amount. Like I said, the average guy can make himself look incredible, especially in photos. So an average guy can make himself look like a top 20% guy if he knows how, just the same way that women do. So what are the skills, what are the things you're going to need to have in your profile to get yourself into the top 20%? So there are three main things you need to get locked down, okay? The first one is the quality of your photos. So the first thing, of course, and this shouldn't be a surprise, but you're going to have high quality photos, right? If I throw up this photo of me, or if I throw up this photo of me, there's a really big difference in the perceived quality of what kind of guy I am, right? The product looks like it's a high quality product. And of course, I look more attractive. Now, I also look more attractive for other reasons, which we'll come to, but just talking about the quality, the image quality, the fact that the background's blurred and it looks really nice and the lighting's great, all these things make the photo look fantastic. The more professional some of your photos, at least some of them are looking like that, That's a big step in the right direction. But that's not all you're going to need, because the second big requirement is to understand the massive impact that your grooming is going to have on how you look. See, many guys really don't realize just what a radical difference grooming, that is what you do with your hair, your hairstyle, your hair color, your facial hair, your facial grooming, and now not every guy can have facial hair, but you get my idea, your eyebrows, all these kinds of things, what impact these have on how you present to a woman, right? If you, I've thrown up some examples, and I know some of these guys are organically attractive anyway, but you'll see how much more attractive they look. Some of the examples will be more regular guys, but it can make a massive difference. The third thing that you need to think about is your style, your fashion, what you're wearing. Now, clothing makes so much difference to how a guy looks. It changes our whole perception of his intelligence, his not just life success, but his ability to take charge, his charmingness, his value overall. So much that is predicated by how you're dressing, how you're presenting. And you know, if in at least a number of your photos you're looking incredible, you're groomed well, you're dressed in a way that really accentuates your best features, physical features as a man, that can make so much difference. It can take an average guy to a top 20, 10% guy so easily. Now, I know that for some guys, for the regular guys who really haven't put any work into understanding what makes them attractive, how to make themselves look attractive, this can feel like a bit of a mountain to climb. But the truth of the matter is that it's not unfair. I know a lot of guys get upset. They go, it's unfair. Why should men have to do all this work? Women have been doing this work since they were like so young, right? It's not unfair. Women have just like their whole lives had to learn to become neurotic about how they look to look as attractive as possible. They've learned this skill. Men have to start learning this skill now. And so, yeah, you can compete on Tinder. You really, really can. Now, it's true that you can be, I will be honest, you can be, if you're well below average, perhaps online dating isn't the right strategy. You certainly deserve to be loved, and you certainly deserve to have women find you attractive, and you can achieve that. But you're going to be far better served learning to approach women in real life, going out to social venues, playing social game, and meeting women that way, because that's a way in which women are going to learn to see you and appreciate you, your personality first before your looks, or not first, but they'll put much more weight on the personality than they can do on an online dating platform. And for the rest of you average guys, if you'd like to learn how to do this right now, I know everyone's under lockdown, and this is the perfect time to learn a new skill. Sign up to my School of Online Dating program right now, because if you do it right now during the COVID lockdowns while they're still on worldwide, you do that now, you pay up front, but if you complete the course in 1 month, you can get a full refund, or you'll get the option to get a full refund or a partial refund, depending if you'd like to leave some money for me on the table. That's totally up for you though. As long as you complete it in a month, you can get the full money back. Just go ahead, check it out, check out the link, and you can get signed up right now. Don't wait too long, because once the lockdown's passed, you won't be able to sign up for this deal any longer. For the rest, guys, what do you think about what I've had to say? Have you been one of those guys who's created a profile, who's a really average looking dude, but managed to create a top 20% looking profile? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you've liked this channel, don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other videos off to the side. I reckon if you like this one, you'll probably like them too. As always, stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you in my future videos.